I am a retired process engineer. I am still licensed by the state, so I stand by what I say and what I write. I have 35 years of, not 35, I have 50 years of experience in industry as a process engineer, 3.5 years working with the TCEQ, the Do Nothing, Do Little agency that we have called the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. I am here to say that on the proposed desalination projects, both by the City of Corpus Christi and by the Port of Corpus Christi Authority, those people have acted with a profound ignorance and charlatanism of serious socio-economic issues that they are creating, even now when the plants are not built yet. The lack of standard engineering practices in what they do and they say, and a significant disregard for environmental considerations. Allow me to read a letter that I sent the city councils of the Coastal Bend, 2 senators, 1 state representative, county judges, you name them, everybody that is involved in this scam. The letter goes like this, and I'm going to read because I'm 74 years old. I'm beginning to forget things. I had a photographic memory. I no longer do that, so reading allows me to recollect. Dear Corpus Christi City Council members and city managers, a couple of weeks ago, I went to your council meeting and I asked you for the following information. So I had been there 2 weeks before. I wrote the letter and I have written, I don't know how many emails and documents, both to the Port of Corpus Christi and the city. And I have asked you for the following information. Number 1, what will the capital costs be to build and commission the desalination plant at Inner Harbor? Capital costs. Those are the construction costs, the permitting costs that they've already spent, I don't know how much, the commissioning, whenever they built it, if they built it, preliminary studies and everything else. So those are the capital costs. They owe us, especially Hillcrest, those numbers. What will the annual operating and maintenance costs be to operate and maintain every day in and every day out this desalination plant at Inner Harbor? In other words, let's say they're going to spend $2 billion. Okay, you spend it, you build it, you commission it, you think it's going to work. Now, you're going to have to buy chemicals, you're going to have to pay electricity, which is going to be huge, you're going to have to replace membranes and all that. You need to tell us what that's going to be. And what will the funding mechanism be for this project? Who will pay? Well, I think we know who's going to pay for it, but we want them to tell us. You know, maybe they got money from MBS, which I doubt. Maybe they got money from Elon Musk, although I doubt. I don't see them lined up. I don't see anybody lined up other than City Council and Port Authority to do these scams. So we need to see the mechanisms, the banks, where the money will come from. To the above requests, I add the following now, through this letter. How will this proposed desalination plant function in this one-point semi-closed system, the Inner Harbor, with only one entry point that will serve both as entrance for the feedstock and as exit for the TPDES discharge. TPDES, Total Pollutant Discharge Elimination, whatever that stands for. In the case of the 30 million gallon plant, which I think that's what they want, the 30 million gallon. Their drawings show that they're going to put back 51.47 million gallons. See, that's the other thing, that they're totally ignorant. They have a profound ignorance on these desalination plants because they don't know anything. Desalination plant by reverse osmosis is a very low yield. I've ran units, I've designed units, nothing this big though, that scares me. It's a 25% recovery. What does that mean? If Elon Musk wants 10, and I'm using Elon Musk, it could be anybody else, 10 million gallons a day, they're going to have to lift 40 million gallons out of the Inner Harbor or the bay. There's going to be pumping costs, chemicals, you name it, to treat 40 million because you're only going to get 10. From the moment you start this plant, City Council, how long will it take for these TPDES discharges to recycle back as feedstock to the plant? And those process-wise constipate the pretreatment. They're going to constipate the hell out of the pretreatment and the membrane processes. How long will it be from the time you start? I don't think it's going to be long. I suspect weeks, maybe months at the most. How long will the plant be down for your water department to X-lax or unplug the equipment so you can get it running back again? They should have answered these questions 10 years ago. They spent millions. I suspect the city already spent close to 15 millions in doing BS things. Rhetorics, narratives, doing all kinds of childish things. And this is 10 years now, maybe 9 years, certainly 7 years since I've been telling them that through writing. And all they have is fraudulent applications, sham permits. You don't build a desalination plant with that. You need drawings, you need engineering, you need civil engineering drawings, you need electrical drawings, you need process drawings. You need a lot of things which take a lot of money, but in order to do that, you have to pass the environmental clearance, which they never did, and you have to do serious engineering. I don't think they know what serious engineering is. What will the electrical power consumption for this desalination plant be? And people say, well, who cares about that? How and where will generate the electrical power required by the desalination plant? It's going to be huge. My calculation says for a 30 million gallon a day, it's about 30 megawatt. The bigger it gets, the more megawatts. How will this power be transmitted? How will this power be distributed? How will all of this affect our brothers and sisters from everywhere in the coastal belt, but especially and specifically the Hillcrest community, which is this mess, is proposed to be cited. Let me conclude. You owe me, and you owe City of Corpus Christi, Port of Corpus Christi Authority, you owe me, and you owe the 500,000 people in the 7 counties that you supply the water, and specifically and especially the people from Hillcrest, you owe them the answers to these questions in an honest, transparent way. And if you don't do that, then you, City of Corpus Christi, Port of Corpus Christi Authority, is nothing but a mafia trying to do something that cannot be justified. You and POCA is the Port of Corpus Christi Authority, have been looking at this project for almost 10 years, and all you have at this point is false narratives, lying rhetorics, fraudulent permit applications, and sham permits from the TCEQ. I was a TCEQ employee. I read all their stuff. I got it here and there and everywhere. Anybody wants to know more? And they're nothing but fraudulent applications, and whenever they get the permits for those applications, they're nothing but shams. I don't want to take any more time. I have a lot more to say, but I know other people may want to talk.
Thank you.